Hey friends, welcome to my channel. Let's get crafting. Today is the fourth and final round for the Creative Champion contest. Our last two contestants are Annalee Ashby and Simple Yet Chic Antoinette. Each girl will be creating 3 projects and Antoinette is up first.
Hi friends, today I am so excited to be back on the final round. I want to thank everyone who voted for me. So in this final round, I am sharing some new spring and Easter DIY projects. For this project, I am using one of these placemats that I got from Dollarama. Also, I got these self-adhesive wall mirrors from Dollarama, and it's a pack of words, faith and hope, and I thought they would look perfect on Easter cross. So at first, I am gonna measure about 6 inches on each side, then I draw a line, and then I cut it out. Next, I fold it in half to mark down the round corners on each side to look like the original rounded ones. Now on the remaining part of the placemat, I am gonna measure again about 6 inches wide. So I am gonna cut this part to 3 pieces. And once I finish that, I am gonna go ahead and lay them out so I can see everything before I glue them together. At this point, you could just glue the pieces together, then trace it out on a foam board. But right now, I only have some leftover pieces of foam board on hand, so I am gonna play with it and also cut it into some pieces that will fit under the cross. And once I make sure that I have all the pieces of foam board cut out, I am gonna go ahead and hot glue them together. Next, I hot glue the placemat pieces down on the foam board. Then I am gonna go around with my utility knife and cut all the corners and any excess out. Then I use some sanding paper and try to smooth the edges out. I also decided to give it that shiplap look, so I use a ruler and draw some horizontal lines like you see me doing. Now it's time to add these words, so I am gonna play with it until I find a way to fit both words down. So you will see me changing things around few times and cut one part of the letter H so to be able to fit both words, and I add the heart right here. Lastly, I am going around the edges with some brown paint and a little bit of black as well, and I dry brush all over to make it look a little rustic. For this project, I am using this planter pot from Dollar Tree, some different texture greenery and foliage from Dollar Tree as well. This birdhouse I already had from Walmart and I am gonna paint it in white. Also, I might use these chicks, some twigs that I picked up from our backyard, and these eggs I had for years but I painted them already in white. First thing I am gonna do is working on the topiary tree. So I am using one of these Dollar Tree moss balls. Now I am gonna remove or cut out all the stems and get them ready. But first I am gonna insert this stick inside the ball and secure it with some hot glue. Then I am gonna poke the ball with a barbecue skewer and then stick these stems inside and secure them with some hot glue. I repeat doing same thing using all different greenery until I firm it to a ball. And here's how it's coming out so far. Now I am adding some of these foliage that I had for a long time ago to add extra texture. Now that I have my tree ready, I will put it on the side and work on the eggs. I wanted to make speckled eggs, so I am using some black paint and a toothbrush. This is my first time trying this, and as you can see, I am trying to figure out how to do that. I am not sure if I was doing it the right way, but they came out fine. Now I am gonna stick these eggs inside the topiary. So I am gonna use these wire stems to blend with the greenery. And once I finish with the eggs, I add some twigs as well to give it a little rustic look. Now it's time to put the topiary tree together, but I noticed that this stick is too short to insert inside the pot. So what I'm gonna do here is extending it by hot gluing some extra twigs to give it some height. Also, I wrapped some floral wire for extra security. Now I am gonna hot glue some floral foam inside the pot. Then I add some pebbles to give it some weight. And then I top it with some faux grass from Dollar Tree. Then I insert the topiary inside the foam. Now it's time to add the birdhouse and the chicks. Also, I decided to make a mini nest using some reindeer moss, and then I add some eggs inside. Then I play with it, adding these leftover greenery and some more twigs until I was happy with how it looks. For this project, I am using this recycled coffee mate container, and I will only use the bottom part, some barbecue skewers, some jute twine, one of these birds, some wire jute cord, and some embellishments. So at first, I am gonna go ahead and cut the bottom of this container. Then I already went ahead and cut a circle of this cardboard. Now I am gonna use this thicker twine and hot glue it in the middle and go around until I cover the whole circle. Next, I am gonna measure here and mark down where I am gonna glue the skewers inside this container. Then I hot glue this circle inside the base like this, and then I will go ahead and hot glue the skewers where I marked down. Now I am gonna use some twine and wove it around these skewers. I am gonna let you watch me doing that, so I will go around these skewers few times. Next, I cut these 3 skewers to create a door for my cage. And then I take a piece of this wire jute cord and make an arch, gluing each end to the skewers that are on each side. Then I take some twine, secure it at each end. Then I go ahead and wove them around these skewers like you see me doing. Then I take another twine and do same thing on the other side. Next, I am gonna take some twine and hot glue it on the top of the arch right here, and again go around the skewers few times. Then I cut all the skewers out. Next, I cut out about 12 inches long wired cord, and then I hot glue them where I cut the skewers. And once I glue them all down, I grabbed the ends and I started curving these wired cords, and then I twisted the ends together like you see me doing. Then I decided to make a handle, and once I hot glued the handle down, I took some cords and wrapped them around few times, then I cut the excess out. I also hot glued another piece of skewer inside the cage. Then I went ahead and started painting these skewers in brown. And then I brushed some white chalk paint all over the cage. Lastly, I wrapped some more twine around the base too, and then I added this cute little bird right here, and I made a tiny nest using some reindeer moss, and then I added some eggs that I had on hand. Also, I decided to add some flowers right here.
Now, I wanted to give a special thanks to all of the girls who have been in this contest over this last several weeks. These girls have all worked so hard. Each time it was incredibly difficult to say goodbye to them as people were being eliminated. I know that part is so hard, but I think a good, healthy competition is always good for us to stretch our talents and our abilities. I have loved every single one of these girls and their projects. And again, while it was so hard to say goodbye to them, it's also so exciting to see our last two contestants, which is Annalee and Antoinette. This has been such a fun experience, and I want to thank everybody who has come and voted and cheered these girls on throughout the competition. And don't forget to head to the link in my description box, which will take you over to my blog where you can cast your vote for your favorite projects of today. Now, each girl, like I said, have done 3 projects in this video. At the end of my video, starting at 1:30, is a hop where you can go and enjoy the rest of their projects that they did along with their theme for this week. The theme for this week was Creator's Choice. So the girls were able to make whatever they wanted to make in their style that suited them best for this contest. If you are interested in joining your chance at the Creative Champion Contest, I have an open call right now for the month of May. I am looking for channels of the sizes 35,000 up to 65,000. I really don't think it's wise to have a channel who is much smaller go up against a channel that is much larger. But I will say I have been surprised because each week, depending on the projects and how you all vote, sometimes the larger channels are eliminated first. So again, I try to make the rounds as fair as possible, having channels compete in their size and groups, which allow for fair voting and for equal opportunities for the contestants. So if you're interested, I'm going to link all the information down below on how to submit for my next season in May. Now, our next contestant and our final one for today is Annalee Ashby. Let's see what she has created for us and the contest for round 4.
For this first project, we're going to be using this piece of 1 by 10 inch scrap wood from my husband. I just used some regular dinner plates to cut out these, actually to trace out these little half circles, because we are now going to be cutting these out with my jigsaw. And I used this so that I could have a custom cut, because I'm actually going to be making some little lemon slices. So this video is actually going to be a lemon farmhouse theme. I actually got the inspiration from a local home decor store here. It's called Real Deals. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that place before, but I went in there and they had the cutest lemon display. And so I just had to recreate some of the pieces. And plus I love to give myself the challenge to make it instead of buy it. So you can see that I got these cut out. These are little lemon slices. This is actually my attempt at freehanding a lemon. When I first started drawing this, it definitely looked like a UFO. I think it got a little bit better, but it does look more like a lemon now. I went ahead and I gave these a layer of chalk paint in the color Plaster. This is by Waverly. And I did a lighter layer because I'm going to be putting some yellow vinyl on these, and I wanted it to pop against the lighter color of the chalk paint. You guys, I am so excited to be here in the final round of the Creative Champion Contest. You guys, I couldn't have done this without you, and thank you so much for voting for me so that I could get to this point. This has been such an amazing journey, and I just want to say thank you to Heidi for allowing me to be a part of this experience. Here's that little lemon. We are getting it painted yellow. Stay with me, guys. I promise it's going to get better. I love that Farmhouse is kind of forgiving in a way, because Farmhouse is rustic, it's imperfect, and I feel like if you mess up or if something doesn't look that good, you can just be like, oh, it's Farmhouse. And that basically makes it okay, right? So I went ahead and I got this little leaf part of the lemon painted green. And then I wanted to give it just a little bit of detail. And so I used a paint pen from, oh my gosh, Arteza, to give this little detail right here. And here it is, just a little lemon to put on our shelf. So this actually is all one project. I'm lumping this in as all one project because they're just going to be some accent pieces on my floating shelves. So I wanted to show you what I'm doing with cutting out this wood. So it's all the same piece of wood, but even though it's 3 different little cutouts, this is all one combined project. So a little lemons, 2 little lemon slices, and then a cutout lemon for this project. And then using some vinyl, I went ahead and I put this on here to make this look like a little lemon slice. And you guys, that was it. Just some paint, some wood, and some vinyl. And these little pieces are thrown together. I did distress the edges because, again, Farmhouse, everything has to be distressed. This next DIY is very authentic. This is an actual piece of wood just from my wood pile outside, but I went ahead and chopped this up into little wood round discs. These measure about 2 inches in diameter, and I went ahead and I cut up 5 of them. I made them thick enough so that we could drill through these. My husband helped me, and just because I can't drill straight, I tried and butchered several of them, but he helped me drill them straight through so that we could we can make these into a little garland. And then just on some white paper, I put some yellow vinyl onto the paper, and then I went ahead and I glued these onto the wood round to make them look like little lemon slices. So there, we got those done nice and quick using these beads. I picked these up from Joann's. I actually love that there's this little hexagon shaped bead in here. And then I grabbed this piece of wire and taped some jute twine to the end of it and kind of made like a little needle so that I could thread the jute twine through the pieces of wood, of the little discs that I made. And then I could of course put beads in between each one for this little Farmhouse lemon garland that we are doing. So I went ahead and I did 5 beads in between each of the lemon slices, and then there are 5 lemon slices total. This little piece of wire worked so good to get all of these beads on here, to put the lemon slices on here. It just went so fast. Like, even though this is sped up, it still went very fast. And then to give it some more distressing, I went ahead and I stained the beads using the color Jacobian. And then once the stain was dry, I went ahead and distressed them with a very, very heavy hand of Waverly white chalk paint. I really wanted them to be more white than brown, so I was very heavy with the paint. I purposely did the staining and the distressing after they were on the string because I felt like it was easier for me. They really didn't move around, and just by putting them on this paper towel here, it was easy to just distress them and then wipe them off with the paper towel. And then using some more jute twine, I went ahead and I wrapped this around my fingers about 20 times, and we are making this little tassel here. thank you so much to all of you who gave me advice to get the jute twine wet, because that really helped calm down the tassel. It doesn't look like an octopus anymore. It actually looks like a tassel. And then I went ahead and I just tied this on to one end, and then the other end is just a loop. And this is it. And for this last DIY, I went ahead and I used my table saw to cut this into 4 pieces because I wanted them to be about a square wooden dowel shape. And then I used my chop saw to cut them down to size for the sign that we're going to be making. And then using, oh, here they are. Whoops, jumped ahead. So I actually measured them out to make sure that each piece was cut down to size where it needed to be. Okay, now using this sign that you can get from the Dollar Tree, this is going to be the back part of our sign. And so I went ahead and I gave this a coat of chalk paint in the color Plaster, Waverly of course. It's safe to assume that if I'm using chalk paint, it's always going to be Waverly. Okay, so now we're going to be painting some black stripes onto this little sign we have here. So I'm just using some tape to mask off the area that I want painted. And I actually end up, you'll see here in just a minute that we paint some black on here, but the stripes that you see are a little bit too big. So what you don't see is I go back in and I actually make the stripes just a little bit thinner, because right here I only have 3 black stripes, but I decided that I wanted to have more stripes. And so after this is dry, I went ahead and fixed it so that there was actually like 5 black stripes and 5 white stripes. And you will see that here in just a minute. Like, it's gonna flip over really quick here in just a second, like magic. Maybe not really quick. Definitely not really quick. Okay, there we go. All right, so see how there's way more stripes there? And I think that the skinnier stripes look much better. And then it actually worked out really well, because when I put the tape on there to paint thinner stripes, it actually lifted a lot of the black paint off and it gave it this perfect distressed look, and it just couldn't have worked out better. Like I said, it was a complete mistake, but farmhouse. So then using these little sticks that we cut earlier, I actually painted them in the color Mineral, and I did film that, but now that I'm watching this, I'm realizing that it's not in here, so I must have lost that footage. But they are painted, you've seen me paint plenty, so they are painted in the color Mineral, and then again with a very, very heavy hand, I went in and distressed these edges with some Waverly White chalk paint. This little piece right here is just a scrap piece of wood that I have an abundance of lying around, and I went ahead and I just cut this into a 5" by 5" square. And then we are also painting this. This is Waverly White chalk paint. And then once that was dry, I went ahead and I put this little vinyl decal on here that says "You are my sunshine," because lemons, sunshine, happiness, right? Am I just, like, don't lemons just make you guys happy? Like, doesn't just that bright yellow color just give you, like, just such a happy feeling? So I went ahead and I used some Mod Podge to secure the vinyl on there to make sure that it stayed. And then using some hot glue, I went ahead and I just got this glued into the center of the sign. And then using this little lemon vinyl decal, I put this onto a little piece of white paper and then a tiny little bit of twine, and I put this in place.
Thank you so much for watching this series and giving it a chance. I know it was new and I know it was different, but I'm so grateful you have all stuck around, and for everyone who has worked through the whole voting process as we're still trying to figure out all the things with that as well. I am so grateful for everyone who has come to cheer these girls on. Make sure you head over to the link inside my description box so that you will be able to go and cast your vote. Good luck to everyone being able to pick your favorite project. This week was so hard. Again, thanks for stopping by. Leave a comment down below to let me know what you thought of today's video. Remember, don't forget to enjoy the hop that starts at 1:30. And until the next episode, bye friends.